The Lifestyle Show, presented by Selina MacKenzie.
I'm just going to welcome Paul Besley to the show. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you for having me, Selina.
Now, your book is called The Search, The Life of a Mountain Rescue Search Dog. And I believe this all started for you when you had a bit of an accident in the Lake District?
Yes, it's actually The Search, The Life of a Mountain Rescue Search Dog Team.
Oh, sorry. I do apologise.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. I do play a small part in So, yes, I fell off a crag.
Oh, dear.
Hurt myself pretty badly. It was on Valentine's Day in 2012. Very wintry conditions, very snowy, very hard winds. And I'd been climbing in the morning and then gone for a walk around. And I remember stepping over a little stream, and the next thing I know, I woke up, laid on my back in a boulder field in deep snow 30 minutes later.
Wow.
And I still don't know what happened.
Were you unconscious, or can you just not remember?
I assume I was unconscious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a friend who's a monk. And I said to him, he was asking me about it, and I said to him, if that's heaven, because there was an absolute absence of nothing.
Yeah.
I said, if that's heaven, it's pretty boring. On the other hand, if it's hell, it's not so bad. And he threw me out. Yes.
Very good.
So I came round, and I didn't understand why I was laid down in the snow. I didn't understand why it was getting dark. And I got a lot of snow, or what I thought was snow, on my head. And I put my hand up to my head and brought it down, and it was bright red.
Oh, how frightening.
And what I was actually feeling, my scalp had got peeled back, and I was actually feeling my skull.
Oh, my word. Sorry.
I thought, oh, I'm in a bit of trouble.
Oh, how frightening for you.
Yeah. Well, yes, it was. And anyway, I managed to raise mountain rescue and the helicopter and everything, and managed to give them, bizarrely, I managed to give them my position. And my rucksack was about 30 metres away from me, so I had to crawl over the boulder field to get to it before I could phone anybody, because the phone was in the rucksack. So never do that. Never put your phone in the rucksack.
Good tip.
The rucksack had come off in the fall. I fell about 100 feet.
Oof.
And, I was... They came. I managed to get all my survival gear on and have some a little drink and some fruitcake. This is the bizarre thing. All my teeth were smashed, and all my right hand side was. I didn't know it at the time. I was badly damaged. So I broke my ankle and leg and smashed my shoulder, smashed my teeth in, broke 8 ribs.
Oh wow.
Put a hole in me head, and don't remember any pain. Not a single piece of pain. And then I saw the mountain rescue phone me, and then my wife phoned me to ask what time I'd be home, because we were going out for a Valentine's Day meal.
So she thought.
and I said, well, I'm just waiting for mountain rescue. Went, oh, all right. And that was that. And they got to me about 5 o'clock. So I stepped over the stream at 3:30. I distinctly remember that. And they got to me about 5 o'clock. And as they approached me, that's when I'd held it all together. And then that's when I let go, and I started sobbing and the likes. And then I kept passing out, I think. But I was in a bad state. It took them a long time to get me off the hill and lift me into the helicopter. I was in quite a bad state. And then I was taken to hospital. I operated on that night, and then I was operated on again the next day. And then 5 days later, they threw me out. And so that was in the February. of 2012, and I went back and did the same walk in the July of that year.
You did?
And thought, and thought, well, I can't, and I'd had another operation on my leg since then. And I thought to myself, I thought I might remember something, but I've never been able to remember.
Do you honestly want to?
It's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. They reckon that when someone suffers that kind of trauma, you either sit on the sofa for the next however many years, or you go a bit more extreme.
Yeah.
And I went a bit more extreme.
Okay.
So I went to wilder places and things, which was good.
It's certainly it's certainly good to have a positive attitude. And apart from the injuries, I'm surprised you didn't get hypothermia.
Well, I did actually,
right.
And I can remember in A&E suddenly starting to shake very violently, and that was my body reacting to everything. But I managed. I had with me all the gear that I needed to survive. So I had spare clothing. I had a bivy bag, a bag that I could sit inside and to try and keep me warm. I had some drink. I had my phone, and I had a spare phone, and I had a torch. I had everything that could keep me together. The only thing that where I would have lost all my life would have been if I was so badly damaged that it was beyond recovery.
Yes, I understand. Yeah. Well, let's get, I'm sorry, but I just want to scoot forward to Scout, because I'm looking at a picture of Scout and he's gorgeous. So was it because of this accident that made you feel like you wanted to join the rescue team?
Yes, it's a way of paying back, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something I felt was important. And I've been a ranger for the Peak District National Park for quite a few years. So the outdoors, and I write guidebooks, so the outdoors is very familiar to me. And having that experience, I joined Mountain Rescue a year later. So I stood with all the other people who wanted to join, and of the 24 people that wanted to join that year, only 3 of us got through.
Oh, you have to go through some rigorous training, I assume, and tests and things.
Yeah, it takes. You have to go through an assessment first before they'll take you on, and then you have to have a 12 to 18 month period of training and assessment to make sure that you know what you're doing and you're fitting in with the team and everything. So I managed to pass all that, and then you're on the call out list, and with Mountain Rescue, you are on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
You can be very busy, and we are very. The team was very busy. Not as busy as some teams, but they're certainly busy.
And let's talk about Scout, because Scout, when you got Scout, he was a border collie puppy. And did you train him, or did he have to be trained to become a mountain rescue search dog?
No, bizarre. Just going back to the team, actually, when I joined in them days, you had to pay to be a member of Mountain Rescue. So that's a rather unusual thing. But if you're going to be a dog handler, you have to have done some work with dogs before. So being what they call a dog's body, that's somebody who goes and hides in the hills for the dog to find, irrespective of what the weather is, which is, and the dog's body is the most crucial part of training a search dog. Without a dog's body, nothing can happen. So you do that, and then you get your team to sponsor, basically say that you can train to be a dog handler, and you've got to have been in Mountain Rescue for a few years. And then you have to, once you're accepted onto the training program, you have to go and find a dog, and you have to buy your own dog. Now, I was given details of a farmer up in the Lake District who trains working sheepdogs and has trained quite a few dogs for mountain rescue. So I went to see him, and we chose a dog, a little puppy. We saw it. And the week before we were due to go and pick it up, he phoned to say there's something wrong with the dog.
Oh.
But he had got a dog that was supposed to be going to Swiss Mountain Rescue, and he could let us have that one. And that turned out to be Scout.
Oh, he's so cute. I'm just looking at a picture.
He's beautiful.
He is beautiful. And, I mean, all dogs are intelligent, but Border Collies are so switched on, aren't they?
Yeah, he is. He's extremely intelligent. Fortunately for the job that he did, he likes bad weather and bad terrain, so that's fortunate. And they've got a very good work ethic. He'll just keep going. Border Collies don't stop, and they're highly intelligent, so they can. Scout knew more about me than I knew about myself.
Wow.
Which is an interesting thing. And he's called Scout because my favourite place is in the Peak District, which is called Kinder Scout, which is where the big mass trespass took place many, many years ago and started the national parks and all that kind of thing.
Right.
But he was also born on the day that Harper Lee died, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, yeah.
One of my favourite books, and obviously the main character in that is Scout.
Yes, of course.
So that's why he's called Scout.
And what does he do? Does he, if you're looking for somebody, do you let him smell the person's T-shirt or something, and so that he can find them? Is that how it works?
No. Scout and all his colleagues are air scenting dogs.
Ah, okay.
So it takes 3 years to train a mountain rescue dog and the handler. The first 6 months of training the dog. The next 2.5 years of training the handler, to be honest. The handler is the weakest link in this team. So where you're sat now, wherever you are, you are shedding about 40,000 cells a minute.
Really?
And you'll keep... Yes. And you will keep doing that throughout your life. So your whole body changes about every 7 weeks. And these cells collect around you, and then someone opens a door and a current takes those things out. That's what's happening now, exactly where you are. And it's building up. What Scout does, what happens if somebody is saying they've fallen, their body will disperse the scent as normal, and we all smell. We all smell the same, irrespective of whether you've got Chanel or you've just run a marathon. You smell the same to a dog. So it's very interesting. So if you fall and you're unconscious, your body is still giving off these cells, and they come from your head and they come from your feet and from your hands and everything. And these little cells begin to drift away on air currents and thermal currents. And it's that Scout detects.
So he knows it's a human somewhere if he smells it.
He knows there's a human, and it starts off as it's a triangle with the point of where you are, and it gets wider and wider as time goes on and conditions take it. And what Scout will do is, as soon as he smells that scent, he doesn't care who you are. He will turn into it and he will follow it. So the job of a handler is to place the dog downwind of that scent.
Right, got you. How clever.
So that's the job of a hand. Yeah, and I think Scout's longest. So when his nose suddenly snaps towards the scent and he sets off towards the source, that's called a strike. And his longest strike was about 1.2 kilometres, so just under a mile.
That's quite a long way.
It is a long way. And what he will do is he will gradually keep working his way towards you, just following the scent. And sometimes he'll lose the scent because it's dispersed somewhere else, and he'll just keep working it until he finds it again, until he gets to you. And then what he will do, he will come straight back to me, and he'll keep going from me to you, from you to me, until he gets me there to you.
That's incredible.
And he's not bothered about you. He's not bothered about you. He couldn't give a damn about who you are. All he wants is his toy.
Oh, and when you get that, yeah, I understand. Oh.
So that's the most important thing. So quite often the casualty will be astounded that the dog handler pays him no attention, pays the casualty no attention, but starts playing with the dog, because that's the most important bit.
Of course, then he'll do it again and again.
Doing it for. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's all he's doing it for.
I think that's wonderful. As far as the smell is concerned, though, Paul, is there not a slight difference? Because I'm just thinking, if Scout was trying to find you, for example, you being his dad or his handler, wouldn't you have a unique smell to him?
I do have a unique smell, yes, and he knows my smell, because his eyesight's not brilliant. Most dogs, their eyesight isn't great. So I've got videos of Scout looking for me, and he does a sort of a double take when he sees me. So which is quite humorous. So yeah, we all have that unique smell, but we all have a human smell. And so quite often, Scout can take me to somebody that's just sat down having their lunch.
Right.
Which has happened. They're not lost, but they're sat down, because most of the people we are looking for are not moving around.
Right. He's sure he's not just smelling their lunch, though.
Well, yeah, he did. I mean, he did take me to two old boys who were having their lunch, and Scout has a thing where if he sees food, he starts to drool, and he was just sat there drooling at these two, and they were eating their sandwiches with one hand, and the other hand was on their sandwich box so that he couldn't get to it. So, yeah, that is very true. And he once found somewhat, he can find unusual items as well. So a friend once dropped his lens cap from his camera, and 15 minutes later said, "Oh, I've lost my lens cap." So we sent Scout back, and Scout found it.
Clever. Very clever. Oh, I could talk to you all day. Actually, I could talk about Scout all day. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a big dog lover. But sadly, we're out of time. So we are selling the book right now on our website, TRE.radio. It's called, I'm going to get it right, it's called The Search, The Life of a Mountain Rescue Search Dog Team. And it's by Paul Besley, who I'm speaking to now. Now, Paul, I know you've written other books as well. So do you have your own website also?
Yes, I have a website, which is paulbesley.uk.
Great stuff. And everyone can see a picture of Scout on there.
And they can get more information from vertebratesadventurebooks.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Paul. And thank you for being on time and ready for me, unlike my other two guests today.
Thank you for having me. It's been really nice.
My pleasure. Take care.
Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.